Welcome to Retrobot, the YouTube channel where we feed a friendly space robot a diet of pure nostalgia. I'm Clay, and today we're talking about little trucks. We are talking about the Puffer Road Ranger 2-pack from the Golden Disc series of Transformers War for Cybertron. I had to send away for this set, and of course, these are retools of Huffer, which was from Transformers War for Cybertron Kingdom, and Pipes, who only recently came out in stores. So yeah, we've got we got a bunch of little trucks here. This is a curious set, because yeah, as you see, for Huffer, they gave him a more cartoon-accurate face, whereas with the retool that they did for Road Ranger, they went back to the Gen 1 face. So they did a special retool just to be able to give him Huffer's original face, even though they didn't use Huffer's original face for Huffer. Instead, they used his more comic book and cartoon type face, which is interesting. And then you have Puffer here, and Puffer has an interesting history. Puffer is sort of a fan name for a repaint of Huffer that was done in Pipe's colors. And I have a picture of that here. Let me see here. Yeah, so here, if you go to this view, you can see that we have Puffer here, who, you know, this was after Pipes had already been released in other geographic areas, but in some places they didn't get this. Instead, they got just a straight-up repaint of Huffer that was colored like this, which, you know, so of course, Transformers fans, being what they are, they nicknamed that version of the toy, which technically was called Pipes. They called it Puffer. You know, Pipes and Puffer. So what's interesting to me is that, okay, so you have Road Ranger here that is an obvious retool of Huffer. And the only difference, you know, you see his chest is tooled up the same, the body is tooled up the same, the weapons are the same. The only thing that they have changed is the head in this mold. So why did they not use this mold when they did Puffer? Because Puffer is supposed to be a recolor of this version of the toy, except with the Pipes coloring. So, but no, instead they based him off of Pipes here. Let's move Huffer out of the way. So, you know, we've got Pipes, and then they just kind of, oh, wait a minute, look at that. He's got a slightly different head. He's got a visor instead of eyes. So this is a slight retool of Pipes. Everything else is identical. You know, everything else is all the same geometry, except for a slightly different head on Puffer than Pipes. Honestly, until I looked at them side by side, I thought that everything was exactly the same geometry. So I guess that means that indeed Puffer, he now has his own head. Yep, he has his own head, which means that he is now officially this guy, rather than being a blue and white version of this guy, which is actually an orange and black version of this guy back before he looked like this. I never expected Huffer to be such an interesting topic. And maybe he still isn't. Nonetheless, I do have, this is all about Road Ranger here, and Puffer, who now I will stop ranting that he's really just pipes. Okay, I'm gonna say I was wrong. He is not just pipes because he's got a visor instead of two eyes. So he is actually a distinctly different guy. I mean, obviously he's got a visor. When Rodimus Prime puts down, or when Hot Rod puts down his visor, that makes him a completely different guy, right? Oh, wait a minute. That's not how it works. Anyway, so we've got Puffer and Road Ranger. Now, Road Ranger, interestingly, he is also of course, another repaint of Huffer, but he was actually created, the character was originally created after Hasbro got a hold of the license for GoBots, and then they took a number of popular GoBot characters and re-released Transformers mini cars with GoBot names and different decos. So Road Ranger is actually based off of this guy. This is Road Ranger, and this was back in the day. A lot of kids who didn't have Optimus Prime would call Road Ranger Optimus Prime because look, he's blue and red. He transforms into a tractor trailer, which very cool. I mean, that's actually a really, really nice transform. Now, he has a flatbed rather than a box trailer, but you can even put other characters on there and drive them around, and the fact that it's got the pivot built in. I mean, this is a neat toy. This has always been one of my favorite GoBots, and he looks like this. I guess since the color scheme is so Optimus Primey, Hasbro decided that when they were going to adopt the character as their own, and probably so that they could make sure to steer clear of not being in violation of copying the toy, because I guess they got the license for the GoBot's name and the names of the characters, but they did not get the rights to use the molds, and therefore they don't use the likenesses of the molds. I mean, it's some kind of crazy legal spider web of confusion that I would love to understand, but I do not. Nonetheless, they decide to change the color scheme, and actually here is a picture of the original Road Ranger from Transformers after they acquired the rights to use that name. And as you can see, just an orange and black recolor of Huffer again. So what we've got here is we've got a new version of that toy done with modern sensibilities and modern molding, and he is pretty close to a recolor of Huffer, except with a different head. So both of these are neat looking characters. This is a good mold. I have always liked the Huffer mold from this line, and it looks good. It's actually a really good treatment of a character that has seen surprisingly little fanfare over the years, and even during the Gen 1 cartoon and the days of the Gen 1 Transformers line, Huffer really he was a background character. He had very few moments to shine. Pipes also just a background character, and certainly Road Ranger and Puffer never even existed back then. So now we've got both the official versions of those characters from the 80s line and the new characters, which are these. They feature head articulation, shoulder articulation, bicep movement, elbow movement. They have a swivel at the waist. They have a fully functional hip joint. They have swiveling thighs and knees and an ankle joint. Road Ranger here has a shield and gun, whereas Puffer comes with a pair of pipes because, you know, he up until recently, he was really just pipes. I mean, he's pretty close to being just pipes, but he's got a visor. That makes him different. So let's go ahead and let's transform these guys. So I'm going to take off the weapons, and we're going to flip back the cab, and of course we're starting with Road Ranger, just in case you couldn't tell because I grabbed Road Ranger. And then I'm going to pivot the body forward like this, and then I'm going to swing the arms up, and then pull the sides of the shoulders down, and that's going to enable me to take the wheels with my fingers and just snap them sideways. And notice the way that I do that. I do that pressing on the hub of the wheel and rotate it like this. I have found that if you just grab the wheel and pull, then sometimes the wheel has a tendency to just come off. And so to prevent that, and also to prevent the potential of damage should that peg that's holding the wheel crack or something, I just feel better just using my fingers like that. I always rotate the face to look upwards. That way, if I see the underside of the vehicle, I'm not looking at robot face. And then we can close that up just like this. We can put the truck cab down just like that. It's on a double hinged linkage there that enables it to move into position. We're going to rotate the forearms so that the wrists face into the back of the vehicle, and I'm going to do that here. And then I'm going to flip the fists in towards the back of the vehicle. And now, if you look, if you have the waist aligned, there's a couple tabs in there that the shoulders will peg into. There's some alignment tabs on the back of the truck. And then if you have the fists just lined up to face each other perfectly, then that's it. That's the front of the vehicle. And then we take the legs, we snap them together like this. And then we take these two panels on the feet, and we can do this at the same time. They can just collapse against the shins, and then you bend at the knees, and blammo. Now, something that you should know about both of these characters. When you put them into truck mode, they will have a tendency to transform like this, with the toes of the robot feet kind of wanting to go up against the smokestacks of the truck. And I had to do a little bit of a modification on every one of these. I had to do it on Road Ranger, I had to do it on Puffer, and I had to do it on Pipes in order to get the wheels to lay flat on the ground and get him to transform with his proper geometry. And if you'd like to see what that modification is, just check out my video all about fixing Pipes. So he's not done yet, because just like Huffer, he comes with this little Riot Shield and this gun. And the way that these things work is the gun splits into two pieces. And then we have the Riot Shield. It has these little tabs here and here. And so this is just going to, there's a little slot on the sides of the gun. So you just stick the gun onto those little slots, if I can get them to do it here. Oh, here we go. Here, you just do that one like that, and that one like that. And what this is doing is it's essentially making a little truck bed so that now he turns into kind of a tipper truck. See? That's cool. That's really cool. And the nice thing is that unlike some of the other Earthrise characters and Kingdom vehicles where like Bumblebee, Cliff Jumper, RC, they had these big parts of car that would come off and be used as a shield or something like that. If Bumblebee loses that shield, he doesn't have the back of his car. Okay, it looks like 3/4 of a car. Same with Cliff Jumper. RC, it's like half a car. And so I really don't like that. As I don't even call it a gimmick. I kind of call it a shortcut. Instead of dealing with the geometry of the alt mode and working it into the transform, they just say, no, just take that troublesome bit off, and it's a gun, it's a shield, it's whatever. But in this case, we've got this thing that becomes sort of a truck bed, but if you take it off, he is still 100% truck. In fact, with this off, now he's able to pull Prime's trailer, as all of the vehicles from this series are able to do. So that to me is fantastic creative use of the weapons for weapon storage and integrating it into the transform in a creative and fun way. I love it. I think it's excellent. Just excellent. Now, let's take a look at Puffer here. He is, of course, very, very similar. We're going to take off the pipes because, he's kind of pipes. I mean, he's got a visor. Guess he's not pipes. He's still kind of pipes. Notice that with Puffer and pipes, the truck cab is actually facing down instead of facing up. That's because for this retool, they added a joint to the linkage of this thing that allows it to rotate. So you see it rotates around like that. So you turn it upwards in order to do the rest of the transform. And then once again, I'm going to rotate the head, and I'm going to flip the body forward, and I'm going to put the arms up and then tip the shoulders down, and then grasp those tires with my fingers, and then then close the chest just like that. Just like that. And then I'm going to put that truck cab back into the position, and I'm going to rotate those forearms to get everything to line up just so. Flip the wrists in and square everything up. And now at this point, we've got the front half of the truck, and then we put the legs together, take those panels, put them around onto the shins, bend at the knees, and blammo, he is a truck. And then we can take these, and there's lots of places where you can put the pipes. You can put them back here, you can put them up here, you can have them up like this, you can put them in the back here, kind of make them look like a rocket truck. I kind of like the rocket truck look, so I'm going to go with the rocket truck look. And there we go. We have Puffer in his vehicle mode. Once again, notice that I have fixed that problem to where he actually transforms the way that he's supposed to. So let's go ahead and take a look at both of these guys in their vehicle modes. And I'm just going to make a little adjustment to the camera here so that you can see them in all of their glory. And there they are. And I have to say that that Puffer is nice. He's I like the gray tinted plastic that you can see through, and he's got a pleasant blue, and he's got silver, and he's okay. Now I will say that honestly, I like the colors of pipes better. I like the dark blue and the bright white. I just think that in general it's a more attractive color scheme, but nothing to be taken away from Puffer. He actually is a very nice figure. Now what really pops is you take a look at Road Ranger, and you've got the black with the red windshield, and it's translucent. You can see through it and see into him. He looks like Nemesis Huffer. He just looks badass. Does he really seem to me like an incarnation of this guy? No. No, not really at all. There's really no similarity between the characters, and I'm guessing that that's intentional. Nonetheless, his vehicle mode really does look fantastic. It's got that tipper truck thing going. He's kind of got it all. He really looks great. And honestly, at this point, I have 4 versions of this geometry, and I love it. If they make another version, I will probably buy that one too. And unfortunately, I will probably have to modify it just to make it work. But once I modify it, I'm gonna love it. So, that being said, if you have seen the Golden Disc Puffer and Road Ranger set available, then and you do like that Huffer mold, then you will probably really like these toys. They are both distinctive, they are both really, really nice in their own rights, and certainly as part of a collection of little trucks. I mean, how do you go wrong with a collection of little trucks? I got 4 little trucks here, and if I had the option to get more little trucks, I'd get more little trucks because the little trucks are awesome. So, little trucks for everyone. Yay! Maybe I got a little carried away on that one. We're a small channel trying to get bigger. If you would please, and you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell so that you know when we're doing more of these Short Circuits videos, as well as our live streams, which we typically do every Friday night Eastern, 8 o'clock Eastern United States time. So, that's it. Puffer and Road Ranger, the sequels with no equals, except they kind of do have equals because Huffer and Pipes, but nonetheless, I can say absolute recommend, and do that modification. It's not hard. Just watch the other video. I show you how to do it. So. That being it, this is Clay telling you to keep it Retrobot! Yeah, little trucks with lots of lucks. I don't know. I kind of make this stuff up as I go along. But nonetheless, I do have a lot of little trucks here. I mean, my desk is covered with little trucks. And I like it. It's a good thing. You'd like it too. Go buy some little trucks. I mean, you don't have to. It really doesn't change things for me either way.